I hear this frequently asked question, what are the best attachments for this X-Defender or X-Defender or Attacker? Well, if you didn't already see, I did make a best attachments to start out with for attacking. And before we start this video, a lot of you guys watch my YouTube videos but don't even know I stream on Twitch. I stream every single day on Twitch, no matter if it's like for an hour or maybe 8 hours. But don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Link will be in the description. But before we start this video as well, I want to tell you guys what the information I'm about to give in this video is not a one size fits all. There's obviously personal preference, but I'm going to teach you guys how to bring that personal preference and build that off your foundation. So your foundation is what I'm giving you in this video. Does not matter what other people use. You might be like, oh, GA is best hollow angle grip, you know? No, that's not the case. That's not the best attachments because it might not work for everybody. For me personally, I prefer Acog and vertical grip, and some people might not like that, but at the end of the day, it's personal preference, and I'm the one that's playing. So, but I want you guys to know that every single attachment and thing I say in this video, I want you to, off of your playstyle, to adapt to what I'm about to say, and try not to have anyone else's opinion try to bias you into having different attachments on your weapons. So we're going to start with the defenders. So Smoke and Mute are both the same people, so I'm going to start off with Smoke. So Smoke, I have laser on the shotgun. Be like, oh, you know, if you don't have laser on the shotgun, it's not good, you know, your pump doesn't do any damage. No, that's false, because not having laser on the pump is for maybe making more accurate rotates, etc. Depends what site you're on, and some people like playing a little bit more in close range with those shotguns. Really depends if you want laser or not, if you're good at hiding your laser when you're tucking it. Having a sight, I personally I like iron sights just because I feel like I never ADS with a shotgun unless I'm holding an angle. But you know, you can try out hollow, red dot, or anyone. It does not really matter. So I personally have no iron sight. So for the SMG-11, I have flash hider, vertical grip, and holographic. Always have vertical grip on. If you have that empty, please put on. Laser sight, I personally don't like it just because I'm usually holding really tight angles with it, but having laser sight I think is fine. People have that conception that, oh, if you have laser sight, people know exactly where you are. That's false. As long as you know how to use it correctly. And it actually, for me, in my opinion, it feels like my ADS time is a lot faster just because I can aim down, you know, a lot quicker. So you might hear reflex versus hollow. Honestly, these two are probably the best. Red dot is just, it moves around too much for the SMG, for the recoil and the fire rate. So I recommend using hollow or reflex. They're both really good ones. You should try whatever one. If you don't know which one to try both of them in 2 separate rounds, and whatever you do like better, go with that one. So next, for the UMP, I'm I'll just do both of them. I personally like the handgun for pulse and over the other weapons because I like having more ammo my secondary, but it really depends how many times you pull out your secondary with pulse or etc. But castle, always run the super shorty, and don't run proximity alarm unless you have a strat or something. I recommend running a bulletproof just because information is always a little bit more reliant. Obviously the proximity alarm provides that as well, but personally, like I said, this is all personal preference. Run the shotgun for rotates. And the UMP, I personally like to run laser sometimes. I just like to have an extra attachment sometimes. Skins don't matter. Angle grip or vertical grip. People are like, oh, the UMP already has fast ADS time. You know, really depends how you cut corners and how you play. Personally, I like to have really that binary, like aiming down sight. You know, having that straight vertical aim. So I like to have the vertical grip just to keep my aim steady. If you might hear extended barrel, flash hider, it honestly depends what map you're playing, what role you're playing. Maybe you're playing like garage or like lounge or clubhouse, you might want that extra long barrel. But I think flash hider and muzzle brake, these are the good ones. Compensator, meh, just because it's a slow fire rate weapon, and most of the time you're probably in a sticky situation, you're firing half your mag, and while aiming down the same spot. So just practice your gunplay movement, and the UMP should be a good weapon as long as you're hitting your head with it. So Doc and MP5, I personally don't run these operas that much just because there's always other operas I'd rather run. But when I am, P90 is the recoil on it and just the overall damage over of it is not the best. That's why I run the MP5. Pretty similar weapons, but MP5 is a lot easier to use. Vertical grip, flash hider. I switch from muzzle to flash. It really depends how I'm feeling. You just gotta, you have to know that these attachments are not drastic changes, and you shouldn't worry too much. Like at the end of the day, you can still, your aim is what determines your that kill at the end of the day. It's not the attachment. So that's for the MP5. For Tachanka and the Spetnaz people, I just run like, you know, vertical grip. Aim grip if you want, but I like I said, I like having that steady aim, like that heavier feeling of your weapon. I run flash hider just because, you know, high fire rate. In my opinion, I like having flash, not seeing too much of the gunfire when I'm playing. The sausage gut weapon, I don't run a suppressor. Run vertical grip. I think vertical grip is good, just for those like quote unquote longer engagements. But angle grip is good just because, you know, if you happen to aim down your sights with the shotgun. But for Jaeger and Bandit, for Jaeger, I personally like to go muzzle. I might have flash on it, but I like having muzzle brake just because I tap fire a lot with this weapon and holding those tight angles. So Jaeger, laser is really up to you. Like I said, if you're good at hiding your laser, sometimes your cross replacement is good, then I recommend doing it. But otherwise, I don't think it's that big of a factor. I run holographic on most of my weapons. Reflex is, I'm more consistent on holo, so I personally will maybe switch later on. But reflex and holo are really just, you have to go into a game and actually play with them to know which one you like. No one's gonna be able to decide for you. You have to choose it yourself. So on Bandit, I don't know. I think I just like having a laser. I think it just makes my gun look cooler. Like I said, it's personal preference. Muzzle brake, I usually run muzzle. I should run flash just because sometimes if most of the time when I'm playing Bandit, I'm kind of like holding down my gun and I'm really tap firing that much. So I like to have flash. For Frost, I'm not gonna go these up. I never use Frost. For Valkyrie, honestly, I think vertical grip and angle grip are not that big of a difference. It is really like, if you like having it faster, sure, go angle grip, but vertical grip is still like decently fast in my opinion, and it just helps your weapon not sway horizontally a little bit too much. The shotgun, I just go laser. You don't have to go safe if you don't want. Otherwise, Cav, I'm not gonna go over. Echo, some people might say like, oh, angle grip is better, you should try angle grip, but you know, like I said, since Echo is, I'm not really moving a lot with Echo, I'm mostly on my cam and I'm holding an angle, so I like having that steady recoil control. I don't really run a laser just because if I'm holding an angle, I don't really want anyone to know, and otherwise the reticle is already small enough. Acog, 100%. Acog is like one of my favorite attachment or sight to have. On the Bearing 9, I have the flash hider. Compensator is either flash or compensator. Honestly, if you're tap firing a lot more and if you're kind of spraying and praying, maybe the comp, but at the same time, you know, at the end of the day, it's just where you if you land your shots even. So I personally run both. Any of those is fine because, you know, the gunfire shoots so fast, it's not that big of a difference. Mira, for the Vector, this will go for Goyo as well. Oh, another shotgun. I go flash just because, you know, high fire rate weapons, I usually run flash. Muzzle is kind of like the first shot, but with the SMG, when there's a lot of like fire rate that gets in my way when I'm shooting, like, you know, around the muzzle, and like it's really hard to see on the sight sometimes. So I have flash on. Laser if you want, like I said, personal preference, however you're feeling. If you want like a tighter reticle. Vertical grip, always put a grip on your, if that's the only choice. And for the, I usually just run the pistol, not really the shotgun that much. We'll see though. If you're playing Mira, obviously go with the shotgun for like rotates and C4s, but that's for Goyo. Legion, honestly, I think reflex or holo is fine because just like I said, his gun is very, the recoil is very minimal and the fire rate is super high, so you know, it's up to you. And I personally run, I should go flash hider on this one. I'm just testing out muzzle, but like I said, guys, it's not that big of a difference between the two, especially for SMGs. So these are all good setups. Avoid using too much, maybe like suppressor, if anything. I think Compensator is still a good attachment, but suppressor is just like, it's kind of quote unquote inconsistent sometimes, whether it's like the range or maybe like that last shot that could have killed the enemy, you know. At the end of the day, suppressor doesn't really fit my playstyle, so I don't run it personally. So Ella, best attachments for Ella, I would probably say Flash Hider or Compensator. Muzzle Brake, I mean, personally, like I don't really tap fire a lot with Ella's gun, or like the first shot at least, but I think Compensator, or like having that first shot accuracy is fine, but the fact that her fire rate's like over 1,000 too, I recommend going Flash or Comp if you're spraying down, like, because you have to. I treat this weapon almost like the SMG-11, just because like the fire rate and the recoil once you shoot like 20 bullets. So I don't run the shotgun, but you know, I I would probably run extended barrel over suppressor just so I can get that extra range. Angle grip or vertical grip, it's all up to you how long you're spraying your spamming your shotgun. So Vigil, I would say personally, I like having vertical grip on Vigil. Yes, it might be like, oh, hollow or hollow reflex, angle grip all the time on Vigil, you know, no recoil. But like I said, I like having that steady, slow-ish kind of aim. So I like having vertical grip. I was trolling, don't go suppressor. I usually either go Flash Hider. Vigil's weapon has a lot of flash. So personally, I like to go with this setup right here. I never go laser. I just don't really need it because I'm looking on enemies most of the time. I personally don't like the C75 just because it takes up too much of my screen, and it's kind of hard to see where the enemy is if it's like, you know, it's taking up a lot of the screen, kind of like the AUG. But I personally like to go with the SMG-12 just because I've had more experience with it, and I just like, you know, hollow vertical grip, so a little bit more steadier aim. Maestro, probably one of my favorite operators. I run obviously vertical grip. I run flash. I would run muzzle on this one, but since this is LMG and I'm going to be spraying a lot and I gotta be holding my ground, so I like to have a clear vision and not seeing too much of my flash, and having those first few bullets be pretty good. I used to have a laser on Maestro's LMG, but I kind of figured like if I'm gonna be holding a lot of pixel angles while I'm anchoring sometimes, so having that laser kind of might screw me up a little bit. I run the bailiff just for rotates, just in case our smoke cannot do, or like, you know, if any kind of situation. Alibi, same thing. I run the pistol, and on her main weapon, I don't run alibi a lot. I feel like there's a lot better choices, but you know, sometimes she's a really good distracting op. So I run flash just because like Vigil's weapon, there's a lot of flash on it in my opinion. So I like to have that clear vision. And what's the next one? Clash. I run the SMG on Clash, the pist, you know, because if you're gonna be bikini bodying someone, you're gonna need that nice flash hider and a laser as well. You know, your Clash, there's no reason to be hiding your stuff at all, so I just had the laser on for fun. For Cade, TCSG or AUG after the TCSG nerf. Personally, I think they're both pretty balanced weapons. When it comes to like whichever is more superior to the other, they're both pretty dog meat in my opinion. But I think the AUG is fine as long as you use it right. I have angle grip on it. I feel like vertical grip is just like this is the only weapon that I feel like angle grip is fine, just because vertical grip just doesn't feel, if it doesn't feel right for Cade, for my personal preference. I don't know if I'm stuttering too much. So I would probably run flash or muzzle. I like to tap fire a lot with Cade's weapon just because how the tap firing is just like so, it just feels right on Cade. So that's what I use just for holding those pixel angles. The TCSG, I don't run the suppressor on it because I need as much damage as I can, because if I'm taking those long range fights, I'm gonna need all the damage I can get. Vertical grip, just because the recoil can get pretty long ranges, and it can get really hard to hit some people. So that's why I kind of talked more in little like kind of corners and holding angles with the TCSG. It does still pack a punch. You just got to be using it right. Mozzie, the Roni or the Commando. I personally like the Commando, but the Roni is just the way I play. I don't have that much speed to play with the ammo mag in this, but I think running extended barrel is definitely good, just considering how fast the thing shoots. But flash hider is good as well, but I think having an extended barrel helps out with getting the damage in. Angle grip, I just feel like angle grip or vertical grip, you know, at the end of the day, personal preference, depends how fast I'm feeling. I personally would run angle grip just for how fast the weapon feels. just the look at the weapon. If it's taking up a lot on my screen, I don't need to do that too much. Warden, I have the shotgun on him. I don't really want the MPX because I already have a secondary. I feel like Warden is good for those close range stuns, smokes, all that kind of stuff. And I would take off my sight. I like having no sight on my shotgun, just having a little more clear vision where I'm shooting. And I would run the SMG-11 or SMG-12 just for having that extra sidearm. So on Goyo, I would probably run the Vector, just because I feel like the TCSG is just, especially when you're playing Goyo, maybe if you need to pop, you might be moving around a lot more than Cade. So I feel like having the Vector would definitely, it's just, I feel like it's easier to, when you're in a bad situation, it's just easier to pull up and when the gunfight hit that headshot, you know. But the TCSG, sometimes you might need have that first shot to win sometimes. So I think extended barrel on the Goyo's weapon is actually pretty good. There's not a lot of recoil for this weapon, so either flash hider or extended barrel, those are what I recommend. Muzzle brake maybe, but this is a high fire rate weapon, and having muzzle brake might not be the best play sometimes. But you know, try it. As long as you're hitting your shots, there's no reason to listen. So the last few defenders were Wamai. So Wamai or his AUG. A lot of people don't like his AUG because, you know, they just have that thought that AUG is like irrelevant. But if you actually try the AUG on defense and you're holding an angle, it does actually pack a punch. You just have to know how to use it correctly. Don't use it like, you have to kind of like pre-aim your, or pre-ADS your lines of sight, just because how long it takes, how much room it takes up your screen. So personally, if I'm in like a close quarter situation, I would use the MP5 because it's more fire rate and it's overall still a good weapon. But the AUG is good for those long range, holding down the anchor shield, all that kind of stuff. So Oryx, I personally don't play a lot of Oryx, but I think having that angle grip on them helps out if you're climbing a hatch. Or laser, maybe if you don't want to like kind of see your flank. Really depends if you want it or not. I see MageJ uses it and he's pretty good with it, so I think I had it on that one time. A flash hider or muzzle brake, again, personal preference. If you like to tap fire a lot with muzzle, maybe, or like having that first shot accuracy. Flash hider, I don't know how you aim, I don't know how you play. You just gotta figure it out yourself. Go into a game and try it. For Malusi, again, same thing as a Legion. I go flash hider and hollow. Laser is personal preference. So that is it for the defense. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I know it was a lot to explain, and like I said, do not get my opinions or any kind of pro your friends. Don't take their attachments and expect to be just as good as them, because that's not the case. Don't run, you know, freaking red dot and extended barrel on Pulse or the UMP and expect to be Foxy, because that's what he likes. Maybe you might be better than with hollow, but you know, it's just at the end of the day, you just gotta play the game a lot to be better. Attachments are only so, they're like tweaks of your gameplay to get better, so don't get them too mixed up. So share this with a friend if anyone is struggling to not know what attachment they want. I'll leave timestamps for all of the operators in the comments and the description. So thank you guys for watching, and again, I stream every single day on Twitch. Don't forget to follow me, and we'll have like live streams. You know, we have a good time. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok for stream highlights, and stay updated of what kind of events go on my Twitter page. So appreciate you guys for watching the video. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and have a great rest of your day.